What do you make of his style? What type of fight are we going to expect to see?
賢く頭を使って、最後は、KO する、瞬間をお見せしたいと思います。
I'll fight in a smart way and then I'll finish it with a knockout.
Do you think you and Inoue finally getting in there, that's a fight that will define this era in the lower weight classes?
I think so. I think me against Inoue would definitely be, if not one of the biggest fights in the lower weight divisions.
When the dust settles, you know, real recognized real, game recognized game. When the dust settles, who do you think is going to be standing? And everyone in boxing, respect to Nakatani and some others, but they see you and they see the monster, and it just looks different. You two look like different kinds of animals than everybody else. And that's really what super fights and eras are about. The dust settles, two guys are left standing. When you survey the landscape, is the monster that guy for you?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, people have been mentioning that fight even before I became who I am today. So I know when that fight does happen, it's going to be huge for the sport of boxing.
Naoya Inoue has made his position clear and appears ready for a major challenge against Bam Rodriguez. Bam is also determined to prove that he belongs among the best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing. The tension between the two continues to build as fans wait to see if the fight can happen.
今、何も話はないので、あとはスーパーバンタム級に留まってやるのか、一つ階級上げてチャレンジするのか、多分そこになってくるので。ただ自分としては、フェザー級挑戦というのも、一つ頭に入れてるので、そういったところに挑戦していけたら、またフェザー級が活気づいていくんじゃないかなと。
Shakur Stevenson believes Bam could be the perfect opponent to trouble Inoue, that he feels Bam's speed, accuracy, and technical ability could create serious problems for the Japanese champion. Stevenson sees Rodriguez as a fighter capable of changing the entire fight with his style.
Basically, you're not the toughest matchup for me.
I said stylistically.
You say Devin Haney.
I said stylistically. When I watch you, I get the feeling like I'm watching history. That. Bang! 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 Bang!
Inside the ring, baby.
The ring's #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, the monster, Naoya Inoue. That he will only fight Jesse Bam Rodriguez if the bout takes place before February 2027. Inoue says he won't delay his career waiting for Bam, and that if Bam wants more time at bantamweight before accepting the fight won't happen.
Ooh, put the pressure on him, Max!
Inoue will move up to featherweight. Cop, let me just say this. If Inoue goes up to featherweight and eventually beats Espinoza, or even better, if he stays where he is, fights and beats Bam, and then moves up to featherweight and eventually beats Espinoza.
Conversation over.
Now we start to talk about who's the greatest fighter ever who spent his career.
Devin Haney believes Bam could give Inoue one of the toughest challenges of his career. He sees Rodriguez as a fighter with enough ability to push Inoue harder than most opponents. That is why Haney considers this matchup one of boxing's most exciting possibilities.
Inoue will be on a very short list and maybe at #1.
I agree with that.
Like, this is insane.
Let me ask you this also. If he does that, is it the Terrence Crawford era or is it the Inoue era? Because that would be really special stuff.
Would that be considered coming after Crawford?
That's a great question.
But then the question is in retrospect, where should they have been? I just can't pick against Crawford.
No, I get that.
Let's not even do that.
Look, it's my understanding that the fight is going to happen in February. That's the plan, is for the fight to happen in Tokyo. It's a big, big fight. And I respect that of Inoue. This is why he's one of the all-time greats. He's not going to wait around. He's not going to fight cupcakes waiting around for Bam. So I think Bam wants to be great too.
And also Inoue never ducks the smoke against the toughest guys in the division.
Ever.
There's so many fighters, and I would consider great fighters in.
Max Kellerman respects Bam's skills, but believes the difference in size could become a major factor. Inoue would bring greater physical strength and dangerous punching power into the matchup that Bam's speed could help him. But every exchange could become much harder against the bigger fighter.
That could be the fight that catapults you to that #1 spot.
I believe so. We were just talking about that yesterday. By the time the fight happens between me and Inoue, I think Inoue will be #1. I'll be #2 or #3. So for that fight to happen, top 3 pound for pound, I think winning that fight will put me at number 1 for sure.
Teofimo Lopez believes Inoue showed some weaknesses in his recent fight against Junto Nakatani. Those openings could give Bam opportunities if he can maintain his speed and accuracy. However, Inoue's power remains one of the biggest dangers Rodriguez would face.
I can't go against Bam. I know Bam, and Bam, my guy. I think Inoue is a great fighter, but I think Bam might be his kryptonite. I seen him get dropped by a southpaw, and I think Bam punched hard enough where he could drop.
Sean Porter gives Inoue the advantage because of his timing, power, and championship experience. He believes Bam has the skills to make the fight competitive, but would still face serious physical challenges. Porter expects Inoue's experience to play an important role when the pressure increases.
Have to keep moving up until he loses, right? If he stays where he is and you look south and you look who could beat him, the other guy who's just different is Bam, right? Bam is the other guy who's just different. How does Bam do against the monster?
I think that's the only fight I would want to see Inoue in, is a Bam Rodriguez fight. I think Bam has the most ability to test Inoue. I think he has speed, he has angles, he has IQ. I think that's a fight I would love to see.
How about you, Tao?
Yeah, to follow what Devin's point is, I think honestly we'll see the most technique out of Bam and Inoue when they face each other, if that is to come.
Andre Ward believes Inoue has shown some defensive weaknesses in recent performances. According to Ward, Bam could take advantage if he consistently finds those openings that Rodriguez's speed and accuracy could make those mistakes.
It's a super fight.
Given how many tough fights Inoue's been in, and how young Bam is, and how well he boxes as a southpaw, I would be like, yeah, Bam's gonna do it, except that he's the smaller guy coming up. He doesn't have a very long reach. If he was a long fighter like you, I'd be like, I think Bam maybe beats him. This to me is like a pick'em kind of fight, because if anyone has a size, it's Inoue with the size advantage, right?
You have to move 2 weight classes up, right?
2 weight classes.
Bam, Bam's special, man. He's special. He moves extremely well. He can box, IQ.
And he can punch. They don't call him Bam for
twitchy.
Can't punch.
And I know he's from San Antonio. You can't tell me he ain't spent no time in Houston. He moved like a...
Tim Bradley believes Bam should first prove himself against another elite opponent before facing Inoue, that he sees Junto Nakatani as the perfect test for Rodriguez at this stage of his career, that a victory there would show whether Bam is truly ready for Inoue.
I think that when you look back at Inoue and Nakatani was picking up in the later rounds.
He was.
8, 9, 10 round, he was catching on. And that also shows a little bit of whether it's fatigue or leverage for Bam, if that was to be the case.
Yeah.
Pick up on that.
I mean,
he don't move like Bam, though. That makes sense?
He goes in, angles, everything, pivots.
We've seen that if you hit Inoue clean, he can go down. He will go down.
Yep.
So I want to see when Bam touches him, what happens?
And every time he gets knocked down, it's always like the same punch. Hand down, boom.
The other thing about Inoue, though, that let's not forget is he was a devastating knockout puncher in the lighter weight classes. The reason he doesn't look like a devastating knockout puncher now is because he keeps moving up in weight fighting.
Bradley also believes Bam should not rush into the matchup with Inoue. Waiting could allow Rodriguez to gain more experience, strength, and confidence at the higher weight. That development could make him much more prepared when the fight finally happens.
Weight actually does matter. I think that gap in that weight, Inoue being slightly older, more experienced and things like that, I am inclined to favor Inoue in this fight, even though I haven't seen as much Inoue as I've seen Bam. But the reason why I favor is because the age gap, the size gap. That's big for the little guys. And Inoue is a monster. He's a monster. So I think that Inoue would be the favorite, and on the betting odds and the blah 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 blah. And so
Sergio Mora believes age could eventually become an important factor for Inoue, that as the champion moves through higher weight classes, the physical demands could become greater. Mora feels Bam could benefit if the fight happens later in Inoue's career.
Can be hit at times. His offense typically is his defense. You don't see Inoue doing a lot of special effects defensively. He's athletic, he's young, he's still very spry, so he can get out of the way, he can pull away, even if it's not a technically sound defensive move. But most of the time, that offense, that firepower, them clips that he's letting off, that's what's keeping guys with their hands at home where they don't want to punch. So he doesn't have to be defensively sound, but he has some big moments against Nakatani, where Nakatani would landed some clean shots, but it just wasn't enough. Every time Nakatani would try to surge, every time Nakatani would try to have a moment, Naoya Inoue showed why he's one of the pound-for-pound best.
Chris Mannix also questioned whether Inoue has started showing small signs of slowing down. Some of his recent performances have not looked as dominant as fans were used to seeing. Mannix believes that could become important if Bam eventually gets the opportunity.
However, I wouldn't mind seeing Nakatani and Bam Rodriguez. Prove it. Prove yourself. Bam, fight that guy. You guys have been hovering around the same weight class. That guy is a pound for pound guy. You beat that pound for pound guy, then you go after Inoue. Right? Inoue beat him. You beat him? Oh, that's a statement. And if you beat him even better, that's a statement. Then, if that happens, then I say, you know what? Bam got a chance. Bam got a chance on the back end. Inoue will be 1 year older, right? Maybe the end of 2027 or the beginning of 2020.
Ron Porter believes Bam should continue developing physically before taking on Inoue. He wants Rodriguez to become stronger and more comfortable at the higher weight that Inoue's combination of power, speed, and experience could punish any physical weakness.
Down a bit, a little bit more wear and tear on his body. And Bam being as young as he is, oh, he'll be ready. He will be ready then, for sure. And I don't think there's no rush in the fight right now. Not right now. I don't think so. So, but again, Turkey Al-Sheikh, he can be a little bit impatient. He can get impatient. And he want what he want. And if he want it now, then he might have to do it. Because the money's there right now. It might not be there. Kind of like with Boots and Virgil. It was there for a minute and then it vanished real fast. Once Boots was like...
believes delaying the fight could actually work in Bam's favor. More time would allow Rodriguez to gain strength, experience, and confidence against bigger opponents. That preparation could give Bam a better chance of handling Inoue's physical advantages.
By the time
a little younger. I think he's 32, 33. I think he's only 31 now. Maybe I might get it wrong, but he's not going to be 34.
If he starts hitting 34-ish, then I think that's a different story, Mannix. But when you asked me this question with Bam,
He's 33. He just turned 33.
It was last year when you told me that. I said, "Are you crazy? Slap yourself." I think it was 2 years ago when Monster Inoue was just knocking out. He was a wrecking ball. Now I'm starting to evolve and starting to like this because I know what age does to a fighter. No matter how great you are, age will start eroding that power, that speed. And guys like Bam who are ascending, then the next great thing, then they can meet at
the potential Inoue versus Bam Rodriguez fight continues to attract huge attention from boxing fans. Both fighters have the skills to make the matchup extremely interesting, but the size difference remains a major question. If the fight eventually happens, it could become one of the biggest challenges of Bam's career.